After a lengthy struggle, King Hor-Aha has managed to unite the twin kingdoms of Upper and Lower Egypt and proclaimed himself Pharaoh over all Egypt. As a sign of his absolute sovereignty and the establishment of this, the first dynasty of Egypt, Hor-Aha has ordered the founding of an imposing capital at Men-nefer, from which he may govern this fledgling nation. Because of your family's many generations of faithful service to this land, Pharaoh has chosen you to be the architect of this splendid city. Because the capital is the very symbol of our kingdom, its citizens must enjoy a quality of life heretofore unknown in this land. To this end, you will eventually need to trade with other cities in the realm and to provide a higher standard of education for at least some of your citizens. You must also build a sacred mastaba tomb for the city's nobles.
G'day there mates, and welcome back to Pharaoh, and we're heading into Men-nefer. We're building a new capital here. This is going to introduce us to monument building, my most favourite mechanic in this entire game. Absolutely love it. I wish they had kept it to such in-depth in the future games. Unfortunately, they didn't quite have it in Emperor to the same degree. But we're going to head on in. I will see you on the other side. Okay, here we are, into the city of Men-nefer. Yeah, I don't need to worry about that too much. Slow time down just a little bit and have a quick peek around the map. Got a fairly good chunk of farmland here, and we've got some beautiful reeds up the north, so we'll need to keep our industry somewhere up on the northern side here. And actually got reeds down south as well. May end up setting up a little separate area down here that's isolated from the rest of it. And we've got the water over here if we do decide to. Probably I think we'll throw our little housing block in here. So I will cut back when I've got that all set up. Alrighty, here we go. We've got the basics already set up. I've got a little farming district down here with some chickpeas, which is one of the two things we can grow on this level, the other one being barley for beer. And we've got a fairly good little setup, so you can see this is pretty much my ideal housing block. I had a couple of others I do like to use, but considering that I'm playing on a slightly harder difficulty than I'm used to, it appears that we may struggle with entertainment. That appears to be the ongoing thorn in my side. So I pretty much am forced into using this block, and this is what I tend to do. One of these will evolve into a pavilion at some point if we ever do unlock it, probably in a later mission. In which case I will move it out slightly further when it'll be a little bit of space behind one of these houses, probably this southern one where all the industry is. For the time being though, we have enough room for 2 bandstands, and that will keep us going for a little bit. Okay, now that food is going on, we have a pretty high unemployment rate. So I'm going to run up here and begin setting up our... Okay, no, I'm going to leave that till later because it's no use to us. I'm going to run down here instead and probably do a little bit of pottery. The alternative actually would be to do pottery up here, and that's not a bad idea now that I think about it. So what I can do is run... How are we going to do this? Let's think about it. We need raw materials, clay pit. Let's run them up along here. I'll throw 2 clay pits there. You can probably expand them more later if we can actually export this. I believe this map will unlock trade, and we'll come over here and bring it up there. Now we have enough space for a storage yard to go just over. May as well whack it right there. Can throw some other beautification stuff in if required, but we're going to need some potters, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 potters right there, and of course the nearly requisite fire post and architect's post. Keep us going. And we're also going to need to throw a bazaar in now that I believe we've got a little bit of food stored up. It wasn't the biggest harvest, but that's always the first one. So we'll throw you just there for the time being and see how this goes. Alrighty, everything is evolving up nicely. We've reached the point where we're going to need entertainment. So this is hopefully where my little design will work wonders. We can throw a bandstand there, and hopefully that is all we're going to require. Now I can use this industry area up here to store my conservatory and juggler school. If I throw them right there, they should be able to travel down to this guy and they'll travel over here as well, and that should staff them both. I believe they can staff up to, well, when they eventually get workers, they can staff up to 4. As it say? 4 full new musicians and 4 new jugglers. There we go. So we have up to 4 of them, and 2 is sufficient for now. I've also gone and put down the village palace and my own little house over here, just to beautify the areas up, and also because it's good to have them on the map, draw a salary when required, and also early on this cuts down a fair bit of unemployment very easily, 20 people, and it gives me a mouse over so I do know what's going on rather than have to go into this menu here all the time. So things are looking good. The second feeding is about to come in. Pottery is stockpiling up. I suspect very soon we will have a spacious apartment. We are going to need beer though shortly, so we may as well start working on it. We won't get it this particular flood season, but we'll have the bare bones in position, and not quite enough space there. In that case, what I can do, can I undo them? Apparently can only undo one at a time. What I'll do is I'll throw it just a little bit closer to the river to get a little bit of extra fertility out of it. I think that is sufficient for now. It does cut me off, but I can always come around and loop around this way if I do need more barley or more food. The question now is, where are we going to put the breweries? Let's think about that. We've got, I mean, barley can travel clean across the town. There's a year before it'll actually come back again. So I could put the entire industry section over here, and that may not necessarily be a bad thing. It would... What would it involve doing? It would involve stretching... Could actually take it out even this way. If I go out this way here, what I'll have to do though is limit the amount of... you're going to be pottery up to half, and you're going to be beer up to half. And we'll need another storage yard for barley. We'll put you a little bit further out. You should still get access to labour from where you are. And we're going to make you a barley-only storage yard. And then with that, what I can do is throw down breweries. 1, 2, 3, 4 should be sufficient for now. And I can expand later if required. Out of money, again, not hugely bothered. But spacious homestead, we require beer and we can level up. And where possible, I do like to work a festival square into the design. This is doing 2 things. One, it's looking good sort of off the centre. Maybe I can begin to build around it a little bit more. But it's also bumping up the desirability of these houses here. These 2 were struggling and just falling a little bit behind. Had a minor disaster here. All of our barley completely burned down, and well, it must have been a freak accident considering I have checked a number of times and the fire and architect were well and truly patrolling down this road. So I've thrown in another one down here just to top it off. I had thought I had that under control, but apparently not. And there we go, everybody is evolving up. Now I do believe we require, or desirability for that one, but I need a courthouse. So let's throw ourselves a courthouse in. Let's put it right there. You will notice I have another bazaar already put up. Now let's think about this. Probably a bit of beautification. I could throw a... Okay, that's odd. There we go, education. Excellent, excellent. Now this is where we're going to need papyrus. Papyrus is what you use to, I guess, fund the education, the school. Let's throw ourselves in a scribal school, but this will not work until we get papyrus set up here, which I've already prepared for. So I'm going to throw in some reed gatherers. We will be exporting papyrus, so let's throw down, for the time being, let's go with 2. We can always expand this very easily later on. We're going to need a storage yard over here, I think. And with that, we can fill it up with papyrus. And we're going to need some papyrus makers. I'm going to leave a space of 2 to expand up as required. And there you go, we will need 4 of them for that. Now, hopefully, these guys here will stop them from all burning down. To help in that, I'm going to throw a roadblock there so that the fire people will walk up this direction without a choice. Look at that, our beautiful little reed cutters working away. That's future money right there. So it's practically a gold mine. Papyrus is a wonderful, wonderful trade good. And here we are. Trade has finally unlocked. This will be our biggest money maker over the course of the game. So we've managed to educate our people and we can get trade set up. So let's go to the world map. Yep, thank you. I already know that. Now it does look a bit funky because of the widescreen mod, the 1080p mod. But doesn't matter. We will get over it. This on the left is where we actually want to be looking. So we are Men-nefer. This is our city. And let's see if I can... Yeah, I've made the screen just a little bit bigger so I can see this text down the bottom. Pawadjet, they will not buy anything from us, but they will sell us bricks, which we will need later to build the mastaba. Necken, our old town down here, will actually buy papyrus from us, and they will sell clay. And is there anyone else? Nope, they're the only two for the time being. But this is a land trade route, so they'll come along with little donkey caravans, and they will buy all of our papyrus. And you know what? If I have papyrus, export it. Take it. I'm producing enough of it that I will always have more coming in. And here we go with ourselves a little donkey caravan coming in to come along and buy, well, nothing at this point in time. We haven't made any. It's all gone into the scribal school. But there's 3 units of papyrus in here, and they are educating our people. I just got to bump up desirability, and that is unfortunately where I need to start using Plaza. I don't like using Plaza because I think it is probably a little bit too colourful for what it is. I really love this beautiful paved road, but Plaza is the simple alternative to pumping up desirability. The other option, of course, is to use, there we go, Bast is not happy for some reason, despite being, because we had a festival. So Osiris will also become unhappy at some point in the future. So let's throw down a couple of extra things. Shrine to Bast. No, where have we got space? Actually, we'll probably fit them in here. 2 shrines to Bast and a couple of other things. This will make it all look beautiful again. Okay, this time the little donkey trader will come and actually buy some of our papyrus before it all gets sent off to the school. Here we go. What's this money pour in? Ah, oh, beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Huge amount of cash. Nearly got 1,000 debins there. Let's have a quick look at trade. Where is trade? That's over here, I think. So if we show prices, so each individual item is 100 pieces generally, except for stone, which are individual. And if we were to import it, we would do the buyer's pay. So papyrus is very expensive to import, but even selling it, we still gain 165 per item of papyrus. That is beautiful. Reeds are practically not worth the effort of paying your staff, and barley and a lot of primary goods really just aren't worth it unless you've got so much coming in. So at this point, what we need to do is import bricks so we can begin the mastaba. Now, I think I can actually fit the mastaba in here, and I would love to have it worked into the city really nice and beautifully here. So hopefully I've got the width there to actually fit that in. If not, then I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. But I will throw down, to that end, I'm going to throw down a storage yard right here, and you are only going to get... where are you? Bricks. You're going to import bricks. And we're going to bring you in. I need a trade route for that one. So let's open up with Pawadjet up on the delta. We are going to import bricks. Now these are very expensive to import. They're actually quite a good export item as well. We'll just leave it at that. We get one warehouse full. Let's have a look here. Bricks. They're not that valuable. I thought they were a little bit higher, but they're pretty good. I mean, 180 is a pretty solid export item. They are a little more complicated to make because you do require 2 goods to be combined, and we'll do that at a later mission. But 80 is not bad for an export. It's definitely better than some of the primary ones down here. And here we go. Got some bricks coming in. Beautiful. Now that should trigger up so we can actually lay down the base for the mastaba. Here we go. Monuments, construction guilds, peasant labour. Yeah, it's not that difficult, all things considered. So we'll throw down our master, and look at that, it fits beautifully right there. Debt, yeah, okay, that's the bricks coming in. We're going to need a lot more papyrus to be exported. Let's actually have a look. How close are we getting to the limit? We've got no idea, because it's a tick, there we go. because it's a new year. So hopefully we... You know what, I think we're actually going to need to expand this a little bit more. If I throw a couple more papyrus makers down, more debt, that's fine. I don't really care too much. There you go, I'll throw you there as well. And that should hopefully eat up all the reeds that these two reed gatherers are able to produce. It's quite an efficient ratio here. Those two are powering, well, they were powering 6, and I suspect they'll probably be able to power 8 as well, considering the reeds are so very close. Anyway, how much is a mastaba to lay down? It is completely free. So let's throw that down there. And what we'll begin doing is getting our labourers here. They'll come up and begin to clear the ground so we can build on it. And here we go. We have cleared out the base of the mastaba. We will then build up on top of this. Now to do that, we're going to need peasants again to drag the bricks from this warehouse over to the construction site. We're also going to require construction guilds, and for that we require a bricklayers guild. So at this point we can afford probably to put down one of them. I'm also thinking of expanding our papyrus. Traditionally when I do this mission I massively overproduce, but in this case we're barely keeping up with demand. We'll have a look at that and monitor it closely in the years to come. Okay, here we go. We're building the monument. You can see these people, they drag it in, and then these dudes load it up. We'll see if we can catch another one in action. Here we go. They're pulling it across. And slow down, have a look at them. And they drag it in, and the bricklayers lay the bricks down, and we build it up layer by layer. Now we're going to require a total of 9,600 loads, or 9,600 bricks, which is 24 loads. Each load is essentially 4 items. We are actually doing quite well financially here. You can see that we are definitely in the black despite importing bricks pretty much as fast as we can lay them. And we are managing. I didn't need to end up expanding the papyrus. The 8 factories or workshops are enough to keep up with demand as fast as they can export it. You can see here this is gradually going up. It is pretty much a waiting game from here on out. So I will cut back perhaps periodically to see how the construction is going. Okay, we have a sufficient number of bricks in storage to completely finish off the remainder of the mastaba. So I have stopped importing, which is, well, it's useful because we are just hovering above, or just hovering out of debt here. It is very close. And, requesting 900 beer. That we can do. Unfortunately, I think they're going to reward me with bricks, which really is not what I need at this point of the game. I may have built just a little bit too quickly this particular mission. And there we go, 2,000 bricks coming in, what we definitely do not need. So, I'll accept them, but they're not going to do anything from us, or for us. And there we go, the mastaba is finished. Absolutely beautiful. Big, funny, multicoloured rock looking thing, or brick thing. Pretty ugly all things considered, but I am impressed that I did manage to build it. It's quite an achievement. I do like that in Pharaoh you can actually build up a city, and then the city serves a purpose. You actually use the resources that you're making and you funnel it and make it work for you to build these huge monuments. And that really is the most enjoyable part for me. Putting the actual cities up tends to become a little bit boring after a while. The challenges are, well, interesting. They're not as fun as actually building all the different monuments. Absolutely love that. That's what I look forward to each mission. So let's have a quick look what we need to finish off here. I need prosperity. So now that I've stopped importing bricks, this should rise. And we will gradually sell off all our papyrus, and in a couple of years it'll be back here and we can move on to the next mission. Oh, I did notice that we needed just a little bit of extra population. We needed 1,500, so I built a second little mini housing block connected off here to the main block. As much as possible I'd like to keep my cities sort of contiguous. If that's not possible though, I'm not going to stick to it as a hard and fast rule, but I would like to make them try and look a little bit beautiful if at all possible. So hopefully these guys will all level up. I probably will actually need to balance. Throw another temple down for Osiris, I think, just to make the area look nice. Throw over their big blocky thing. Now I should fast forward and we'll be victory right about, well, as soon as the next person moves in. There we go, victory. What a beautiful city. And that is our first taste of monument building.
Congratulations! You have built a capital worthy both of the living and the dead. And by developing trade relations with other cities, you have introduced your city to the world stage.
There we go, everything went well that mission. It was a fairly simple thing. I think I've got this entertainment under control now. It just requires 2 bandstands early on and possibly a pavilion and a bandstand as we get to the higher levels. Anyway, I've been Blxz. This has been another interesting episode of Pharaoh. This is probably the first real challenge, I suppose, in the game. It's not a particularly difficult one, but the small mastaba is a little bit of fun and it is a taste for what we're going to be getting later on. So make sure to smash that thumbs up button if you do indeed enjoy the Pharaoh content. And hopefully you'll join me next time as we continue on with bigger and better cities. Take care.